A very warm welcome into Sports Talk with Theo Dorsey. South Georgia, let's talk sports. Put the pigskin away and roll out the round balls. It's basketball season, and Sports Talk will bring you weekly coverage of high school hoops. But first, to put up some WD-40 on the transition, we'll have a special guest today. Over the past 2 decades, Robert Skinner has been synonymous with Albany State women's athletics. Not just basketball, he's led the volleyball and softball teams, as well as scoring a total of plenty of SIAC championships across all of them, 10 in volleyball, 3 in basketball, and 5 in softball, and over hundreds of wins. We'll talk about how he managed the seasons which run together, as well as him letting the reins go with softball after the merger with Darden State College right after this. Welcome into the show, Coach Skinner.
Thank you.
And first off, I want to clear something up. I mean, the guy of many championships, he told me while we were waiting, it's actually 19 because you had a fourth basketball championship.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
As IAC championship.
Okay, cool.
Early in my career here at Albany State.
Yeah, maybe that's why I missed it. My researching skills ain't as good as they used to be. I'm getting old.
Okay.
No, but let me, for you as a guy of so many different sports that you've led at Albany State University, before we get into all of that, because you have different stops. You started at Payne back in 1980 before you transitioned to Albany State. But I want to ask you, as a head coach, because for those that understand, you were coaching volleyball, basketball, and softball. Those seasons don't just end and the next one begins. There's some blending period. Yeah. What was it like managing those three together as you tried to lead 3 different teams?
Initially, it was a challenge. Initially, it was a task. It took me a while to be able to understand the management technique and the management skills I would need to be able to manage all 3 at one time. But after I really kind of laid the groundwork, got some good assistance and some good help, it was rather easy to go from one season to the next, knowing that I was going to have help to get from one season to the next season.
What's the hardest part about that? And also, I want to know, why is it that you put that extra strain on yourself as a coach? I'm sure they would have let you specialize in one sport as good as you were doing at so many of them.
I think they would probably allow me to specialize at one sport, but I had a passion to coach. So therefore, we were in the middle of a SIAC volleyball tournament one year, and we did not have an opportunity to win our sports tournament because we didn't have a softball team. We would always lose simply because we didn't have a spring sport. We didn't have softball. At that particular time, we didn't have tennis either, so all we had in the spring was track and field. So I went to the president at that time, also to the person over the finances, and we talked extensively about developing a softball program. So I just asked him, I said, well, if I develop it, give me an opportunity to develop it, let me coach it, and then we'll go from there, and just give me a few years. And they did that. The few years ended up being 14 years, and I didn't plan initially to do it that long, but they gave me an opportunity to coach something that I love, and I had a passion for working with the kids. So it all worked out for the good at the end.
Of course, and we're going to talk specifically about softball, but I know that you kind of started your career, at least it seems from the research I've done, with basketball, right?
Yeah, it was basketball. When I finally started coaching at the collegiate level, basketball was my true passion, and that's what I really wanted to coach. And I wanted to coach people who would appreciate what I was doing. So I really felt like a lot of guys always felt like they was going professional. So they wouldn't put in the time, wasn't dedicated enough. So I turned to the females to work closely with them. And in the murals in high school, in college, I worked with the females. And then at getting my first job opportunity, it was for women's basketball coach at Payne College. So I realized that in that particular time, working with females was going to give me probably more of an outlet to do what I wanted to do, and could see growth and also see where I was affecting lives positively.
Right, and you've done it. You've affected lives positively in basketball for 37 years now. You started with Payne in 1980. Right. You transitioned over to Albany State. You're now in your 27th season leading the Albany State Lady Rams team. What is the oddest thing about being able to lead a team 27 seasons? I'm sure you go up against so many different coaches. You might have even coached some players that have kids that are playing against. Like, what's one of the odder stories you have from coaching so long in basketball?
Oh, man. Coaching, even at the present time, I coached against Fort Valley. They had a young lady by the name of Kim Oates, and awesome basketball player. And I figured I'd never see the likes of her again. Once she graduated and went on, I said, man, I'll never see nobody like this kid again. Now, on this team in 2018, I coach Kim Oates' daughter.
Oh,
she
man.
plays for me. And it's remarkable. I never thought I'd get an opportunity to coach someone's daughter who was such an opponent, such an adversary at the particular time. But her daughter, Kayla Duggar, plays for me now and is an excellent ball player, works extremely hard. Doesn't have quite the passion for the game her mother had at that particular time, but she's growing and she puts in the time and she's getting better. So that's just one of the tidbits that I look at and I said, man, I never dreamed to coach her. Never would.
That's special. That's something different. And at what point did you realize that was her daughter?
I didn't until she came and told me. She said, Coach, she said, and she was a walk-on at that. Yeah. And she said, Coach, I really want an opportunity to play. And she said, you know my mom. And then when she told me who her mom was, I said, man, don't say that again. Don't say that word. That's a bad word here at Albany State. She destroyed us here at Albany State. She played in the late 80s, early 90s for Fort Valley. Yeah.
That's something else. That's something else. Well, we're going to move on to the next sport. Basketball, we can talk about basketball all day, obviously. But volleyball is a sport and a program that you launched at Albany State University. Not only did you do that, 10 SIAC titles total in your tenure there. Yeah. You started volleyball in '95. You're now in your 23rd season of coaching volleyball. And you guys, that run you had in the 90s, unprecedented in the SIAC, right? Yeah,
we had a run that I don't know if anybody will ever have in volleyball ever again. And it came right after the SIAC prima donna, Alabama A&M, left the conference, went into the SWAC. And they had ran off 10 in a row conference championship. Yeah. And then they left and went into the SWAC. Well, immediately after that, I think Fort Valley won the championship, and then we won one, and then we won another one, and then we won another one. And it started looking like we were going to be the dominant team in the SIC in the late 90s and early 2000s. Yeah. And from I think it was 2000 all the way up to 2009. I think it was 99 all the way up to 2009. Yeah. We were dominant in the SIC in volleyball. Yeah. And it was more of a blessing than anything else. I really can't explain what happened. We got good kids. I had good assistants, good coaching, and good coaching help. Yeah. And I just felt like that at that particular time, we put more into it than anybody else in the conference. So it made it easier for us to win championships. And it became a habit for us. Yeah. We go to the conference tournament, and everybody knew we were going to be the team to beat at that particular time. And that's always been the stigma with Albany State athletics anyway, regardless whether it's football or track and field. Albany State's always been the team to beat. So we kind of carried that little torch with us in volleyball, and we ran from there.
Right, and right now, so you, again, like I said, 23rd season with volleyball, 27th with basketball. You're still the head coaches of both of those programs. Right. You had to take a little bit of a sacrifice in 2016 when Albany State and Darden State both merged, and you gave up the softball program, which you also launched at Albany State University back in '01. For you, what did softball mean to you as a coach? 5 SIAC titles, by the way, your last one coming in 2013. As a head coach that really loved that game as well, what did it mean to you?
I felt blessed to get the opportunity to coach that game. That game kind of got me away from the indoor sports. It gave me an opportunity to get outside, gave me an opportunity to coach a different type sport. I wasn't on a clock. I wasn't as far as looking at the clock to keep up with the score and stuff like that. So it gave me an opportunity to coach young ladies that had a different type of skill set. And I kind of enjoyed it. I had opportunity to go to camps, to clinics, to learn more about the sport, and then I had some good mentors from the Gulf South, from the Peach Belt, from the SIAC, from the SWAC. So it just built camaraderie between myself, and other coaches, and I just enjoyed doing it, especially coaching down in Florida against the Sunshine Schools. It's just another opportunity for me to meet another challenge. So it was just that. I just enjoyed doing that.
Okay, good. And that's big. And with me with softball, the thing that I enjoyed the most, at least covering you guys, so many different athletes and whatnot. But I got to know, how are you able to recruit for both softball, volleyball, and basketball while still coaching and leading those other teams and still getting these athletes in to win so many titles? I mean, 19 SIAC titles spread across those 3 sports. How are you getting all the athletes?
Albany State has a strong alumni base throughout the country. And even though I did not get opportunity to go see a lot of athletes play simply because I was coaching or we were playing from one season to the next, I got tons of phone calls, emails. I had alumni call me on a regular basis, send me kids on a regular basis. And after you coach so long, people begin to know who you are. Yeah. So, and they know the work you do. And I think I was really blessed that so many people respected me like they did. And they send kids to me. They would send kids to me for me to give kids opportunities to play. And then, you know, we wouldn't turn people away. Even though we wouldn't give everyone scholarships, we wouldn't turn them away. We're going to give them opportunities. So I think that kind of allowed me to get some good talent in here at times. And we were able to do what we could do with what we had simply because the kids were very dedicated in doing what they were doing.
Right. Now, just like you gave those kids an opportunity, I'm going to give you an opportunity to beat me at trivia, though it's a small opportunity at that because how good I am. So we're going to, right after this break, we'll play some Theo versus everybody and bring Mike in, and we'll see if I can take down Coach Skinner. Welcome back. Mike and I always try and give you a well-rounded picture of each coach we bring on the show.
That's right, Theo, and that's why I packed up our gear and we met with Coach Skinner on the court to watch him in action. Take a look. The Golden Rams are getting in a light practice before an evening game. Head coach Robert Skinner is leading them, doing something he's always dreamed of.
After my years of Pee Wee football, was at the tender age of 14, that I wanted to do something else other than play. So got talking with people, and they had me interested in coaching a little Pee Wee team at 15.
Since then, Skinner has coached at different colleges, teaching players about volleyball and softball too. He says being a cross-sport coach has its benefits.
It makes for good fellowship. It also gives me a variety of coaching strategies for each sport. There's always something different, always something new. So I always had a chance to grow. I've never become stagnated in one particular sport.
Now in Albany, Skinner says that lack of stagnation has helped him blossom in other ways.
My faith, and that's probably been the thing that's kept me here, kept me doing what I do, and then keep me focused.
Focused on getting better and winning, but also making a difference. He believes that guiding his players on and off the court is one of his most important jobs.
Giving them a solid base, being a good role model. I think being someone who listens, being somebody that cares.
A quality that makes even the toughest days at practice a little more rewarding. All right, and that brings us to the trivia portion of our show. We like to call it Theo versus everyone because that's exactly what happens. So welcome, Coach Skinner.
Thank you.
All right, here's how it works. I'm going to ask you guys a series of trivia questions. You just buzz in on your little buzzer there to answer. If you get it right, you get a ball, and then the person at the end with the most wins.
Let's do it.
Are you guys ready for this?
Ready.
Ready.
All right, cool. All right, we'll get started. These first questions, you'll have 2 choices. It's a this or that question, so here we go. All right, in what decade did the NBA adopt the 24-second shot clock? Was it the 50s or the 70s?
70s.
No, that's wrong. It was actually the 50s. So for these first couple ones, if you get it wrong, I'll just keep going since there's only 2 choices. All right. Which NBA player was named Boy George during college when his weight surpassed 300 pounds? Was it Shaq or Charles Barkley?
Charles Barkley. Oh.
Yes.
Charles Barkley.
All right.
You got one. First blood here. I like it. All right, we're going to keep moving. Still a this or that question. All right, the Chicago Bulls are known as what in China? The blood horses or the red oxen?
The red oxen.
Yes.
You already know.
You've been to China.
I've never been to China.
All right. These questions are going to be more rapid-fire questions. You guys got to come up with the answer on your own. Okay. All right. So which 2 NBA players won the MVP trophy 3 times each from 1986 to 1992?
Larry Bird or Magic Johnson?
No.
Oh, Dr. What?
Michael Jordan and Larry Bird.
No, you guys were both close. Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay, okay.
You were close. We average them out there. All right, we'll keep. I didn't bring my scissors, so we're going to be out of luck on that. All right, how long is an NCAA basketball court?
94 feet.
That's correct.
Come on, he coaches all those things.
You stand next to the sideline all the time.
Look, man,
next
you know
to the
that's
court.
his speeches too. You got to run all 94.
All right, we'll keep rolling here. What NBA coach wrote the book Sacred Hoops, Spiritual Lessons of a Hardwood Warrior?
Red Auerbach?
No.
Hubie Brown?
No, Phil Jackson.
I was going to go Phil, too.
All right, and that brings us to the halfway point here of our trivia portion. Coach is up by about a ball here. So we'll see what happens after the break, and we have a couple more questions left. Welcome back to Theo versus Everyone. We're here with Coach Skinner from Albany State. It's still tight. Theo's down by a point right now, but 3 questions left, so anything can happen.
It will happen. Let's do it.
Confident. All right, cool. All right, here we go. Who is the most winningest coach in NBA history?
Phil Jackson.
No.
That wasn't it.
Do you have a guess?
Oh.
No,
No. All right, it's Don Nelson.
I
31
never guessed
years, 1,335 wins.
Never would have guessed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to keep moving on. This one's a little easier. After the first 4 of the play-in games are played and the bracket is set, how many college basketball teams
64.
total? Yes.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about.
wasn't right.
This is it right here, Coach. Don't get nervous.
That's right. This is the last question
you
here.
get nervous.
Things are tied up. Some trash talking going on.
Yeah, you can still lose.
I can still lose.
You can still win, too, as we established. All right, let's see here. Which former NBA coach was an 11th round pick in the 1967 NFL draft?
Oh, God. Mike? What are we doing?
I thought this is common knowledge. That's why it's the last question to
Okay.
decide it all.
NFL draft. 11th pick?
11th round pick.
11th round pick. Okay.
11th round pick. That's a low round. That's horrible. He didn't even
He
go.
didn't be coaching.
Yeah, he didn't be coaching.
Hey, he was drafted and he made it to, and he was a coach.
Coach probably in the NBA around the 80s, 90s. I don't know.
I have
man.
no
Any
clue.
guesses?
I would go with. What the?
All right,
The clock has
the
been
clock
run
has
out by now.
expired. All right,
Phil,
it's
Greg Popovich.
no. All right, it's Pat Riley.
Oh,
11th round. All right,
crazy.
but we end on a tie.
We can't keep doing this. All right, it's cool though. It's cool. You know what? We'll end on the tie. I'll get you later on. In
That's
the season,
fine. That's
something like
fine.
that.
That's fine.
After the break, we're going to discuss about exactly how we'll be doing this high school sports coverage. Something you guys have been asking for and asking me how we were going to do it. I'm going to show Coach Skinner. He's going to give me his approval if we're doing it right or not. Right after the break. Welcome back to the show. We got Coach Skinner here of ASU women's basketball and women's volleyball. A guy that's got over 1,000 career wins with all those sports combined and 19 SIAC championships. Just have to put your resume out there one more time.
No problem. No problem.
So, and the reason I say that is because I want your expertise. I'm going to ask you live expertise on what we have for the high school basketball show we'll be doing on Sports Talk for the rest of the season. I'm going to show you what we have, tell you about it, and you tell me what you think. So the first thing we're going to have every week is we're going to be giving out a Shining Star of the Week. Let's run the footage of the intro, and then we'll talk about what that is. Now that looked good. That looked good. That was put together by our graphics department. So what that'll be is I'll pick out a high school basketball player who had the best week stats-wise. I'll ask all the coaches. So if you're out there, make sure your coach is able to text me, give me some stats, make sure they're active with me so I can, highlight some of the student athletes. And then we'll bring a star. We'll slap it up there, have them up there, and honor them every week. What you think about that?
I think it's a great idea. Are you going to also recognize the school that they participate with?
Yeah, the school. So I'll say so-and-so from, I don't want to play Albany High School, and then put it up there.
Safe pick.
Yeah, exactly. So another one we have is we'll have a Pack the Stands game of the week. Let's roll that footage right quick. As a special tribute to the Lady Rams, I put y'all's footage behind it. But what that'll be is myself and Mike will pick out a high school basketball game that will be something to look forward to for the weekend. And we'll let everybody know about it. Hey, a big matchup. You guys need to go watch it. So that'll be something big. I'm going to show you the next one and ask you your thoughts on this one.
Okay.
This one's going to be called the Showstopper. Let's look at that. In case you were wondering, I was the one that shot that. But that'll be pretty much like the highlight, the play of the week. We'll put it on Facebook, let people vote, and then show it here. What do you think about the nice
it's a
highlight
great
of the
idea.
week?
Another great idea. I think all 3 ideas are great ideas.
We're stamping all 3 ideas. We got one more for you before we get out of here.
Okay.
This one's going to be called the Squad Goals. Let's take a look at it. This one's going to go to the team of the week. We'll talk about what team had the best week, whether they beat some top teams or whatnot. So, do we get the Coach Skinner stamp of approval?
You got the stamp of approval. Go with all of them.
There
Sounds
it is.
good. Sounds really good.
I appreciate it. So we'll have that for you guys. I thank you so much for coming on the show, Coach Skinner.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck for the rest
Appreciate
of the
it.
season.
We need that.
And we'll be there the whole time.
Thank you, sir.